Hi, it's Ayesha here from God FM. I hope you're all keeping well. Just wanted to share this with you that Mr. Gary Waterman, ex-police officer, has irrefutable proof that our leaders are literally eating people, drinking people's blood, and putting people in the food chain. All right? These are the leaders of our world. I did an interview with him. You can find it on YouTube and God FM New. And it's about 2 hours long, I think. Yeah, and it goes into real detail, even includes details of Madeleine McCann, how her skin was used on the king's son's shoes, for shoes. Yes. Anyway, just to give you an update, the world as you know it is very evil. And a lot of people aren't waking up to that fact. So it's a case of bringing it really home and exposing it as much as possible so that people do wake up. Because if we don't wake up and we don't depose these leaders, we're going to end up in a really bad situation. And what happens to me is this harassment that is an organized gang of criminals terrorizing me happens to a lot of other people. And even Mr. Waterman knows about it. But the police turn a blind eye. Imagine having somebody breaking into your house, vandalizing your vehicles, interfering with all your communications with your phone, emails, Wi-Fi, and they get everybody around you to partake in it so that you look crazy. Imagine it. Now imagine that it's not happening just to you, but to lots of other people who also can't be imagining it. All right. As I say, I've got a cyber expert on this as well. And he reckons the attack that takes place against us is like a country's being attacked. So as far as I'm concerned, AI is out the box and it is running this show. It's so advanced. It can only be AI that can be this intelligent with these capabilities of being multifaceted in multi places through the lights, the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, and obviously being able to triangulate people's locations based on their GPS and their 4G and their phone, cloning phones, cloning SIM cards, taking over networks, not just for me, but for anybody else as well. The lockdowns that are coming, the NHS tracking system is also what they like to use. So when everybody was getting their injections, they incorporated a tracking app, which was using something called Pegasus, which is actually what the police use as well when they want to hack somebody. And they install it, they spam your phone with it through a local phone mast, and then they get into your phone. But actually, as I've discovered, all phones have got this on. So your phone takes a photograph of you every 3 seconds. And it's not just a photograph, by the way. It's a full scan of your brain. An MRI type of scan. Yes. Reading your brain signals, which give off wavelengths. And this is just like a radio signal. And then sending back little unaudible transmissions back to your device to manipulate your mind. This technology that's very advanced, that is running around in the world through AI. And I think you guys need to know about it. So I'm just telling you. I have another group as well for targeted people, targeted individuals. I think we've got about 15, 16 people now. All targeted individuals, all under the same attack as me. And as I say, if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. And when I tell people about God, and I say, oh, do you believe in God? They say, oh, no, or I'm an atheist or whatever, right? And then I'll say, well, that doesn't stop God from existing. All right? Just because you don't believe it doesn't mean it's not real. God's real and he's there. Even if you don't believe it, even if you bury your head and pretend that God's not there, he's watching and he's there. And so the same with this technology and stalking. And if you know that the devil is a liar and he's running this thing, this world, and all of his principalities and rulers are operating in this world, running this world with AI and demons and witchcraft birds, with the Masons, a demonic set of evil people who run the world. And I want to make you very aware that this is what's going on. It's very hard to unsee what I've seen, and it's really changed everything about how I look at the world. The way I see it is the world is in a mess. The animals are also suffering from all this technology. People are getting headaches, heart attacks, strokes. They're getting all sorts of problems with ringing in their ears, all sorts of other problems. And this isn't just random. We're getting young children with heart attacks. This is just not normal. We're getting people educating children about pedophilia. We're getting really strange teachings at school. We're getting really weird news that isn't really covering news. We're getting police who turn a blind eye to this kind of crime and put it down to a mental illness, the fact that you're being hacked every 2 seconds. No matter how much evidence you've got, they just decide that you are mentally insane. So not only have you got people who are terrorizing you or stalking you and hacking you, and this is a government-led CIA operation, by the way, where they actively recruit online for operators to operate in their local area, and they drive around and they move around from town to town. They do. And they rent a little house near you and they put them in there and they'll swap the people around, as I've discovered, and the other victims also. Same sort of thing. And they like to use weapons that you can't see, just like a microwave, 5G. Put things in your drains, put things in your water, put things in your house that emits signals to triangulate everything in your home. Little Bluetooth devices. With the technology advancing so fast, and Mr. Boris Johnson also told us that Siri will be watching you and listening to you. Yeah. And I'm about to do a broadcast all about that, and asking various leaders if they want to do an interview with me about what they tell us that they're going to do to us. By the way, everything I'm talking about is openly on the government websites, all right, that they want to annihilate us. And I want you to take me seriously. I want you to listen to me. I'm not imagining it. They tell us that this is what they're going to do. Even Boris Johnson goes on about going back in time, like the Terminator film, in his ludicrous, crazy sounding broadcast that he did. In 2019, he was telling us all about this, all right? And then we've got all of the websites telling us what they want to do to us. And, I mean, it's okay if it's not happening to you. You can pretend it is not real, just like you can pretend that God's not real. But you know what I believe? When God said in his Bible that you need to search for the truth, no matter what the cost is. You need to stand by the truth. I think he actually means about this as well. Because if there are people you know who are Christians and they are under this kind of attack, then this is the tactic that they're going to use on any person that stands up for their rights. How long is it going to be before Christians in general are hunted down and stalked and tortured and hacked and followed and have their cars vandalized, have every job messed with, all communications in and out through a gateway, through somebody who's going to be watching everything, somebody who's fitted little things in your house to watch you, to little doorbells to go off, little ringers to go ding, ding when you go to your passage, which is what's happened to me. How long before this will happen to other Christian people with a digital ID, which is using, would you believe it, Pegasus, the same, Stingray. And since Apple removed the advanced data protection on the 25th of March of this year, now anybody with Pegasus can spam your phone. And then what they do is they upload all sorts of updates and modifications to your phone's operating system through your Safari or your browser. And you'll find files like iOS files, like I find on my phone. Or OG files, there's another one, OG. Magog is a bit like that, isn't it? From the Bible, maybe. What do you think? Okay, so the truth is stranger than fiction. And I know that it's really hard to hear what I'm saying and believe it. And my uncle, 20 years ago, was it 20 years ago? Yeah, about 20 years ago, 23 years ago, came to me telling me stories of people following him and people in his loft and his electrics doing all sorts of weird things. And I thought, this guy's a nutcase. But it's happening to me now, and I'm not a nutcase. And I'm also understanding how this whole thing operates, because I've been studying it and logging it and working round it, trying to get it off when it's on. Now, you've got a microwave in your house. If you have a microwave, you'll know that if you put food inside it, it cooks it. So the radio frequencies, which are microwave, are the same as the Wi-Fi. And with the 5G towers that they put up everywhere, they're able to activate these through the satellites and switch them on and target specific people that they want to target because they can read your biometrics, your brainwaves, and your frequencies, which each one of us has an identifying sort of number. And they go, this is. All right. So this technology is very advanced and already exists. The government have training programs for people to do electronic harassment, electronic using EMF, which is microwave weapons. All right. So if they're recruiting for people to do these things and also monitoring agents using neighborhood watch, neighborhood stalking watch, and whatever else, then you should know that this is coming for all Christians. It is. And also the fact that there's no support through the churches says to me that they also know about it and they join in the program too. You're on that list where you are shunned. You are not able to keep a job. How long before you can't have a bank account? How long before you can't rent a property? How long before, people are punished for being your friend? Because in this program, if anybody helps you they get punished. So it's like a big secret. Everybody knows about it, apart from you. And that includes the whole town. It's like the Hills of Eyes. It really is. And this is happening to lots of people. It's like the Stasi from the time of the war, World War II, where they would do this, and this technology existed then in a slightly different way. So anyway, I want you to please listen to what I'm saying. Look up stalking, gang stalking. Look it up on TikTok. If you have two brain cells, right, then you'll be able to figure out what I'm saying is the truth, all right? And that this could easily happen to you. Now, what they're able to do electronically, because you're made of water, and they do stuff with your water and put nano in your water, which then constructs itself inside you. You understand? And then it makes transmitters and all sorts of little bits and bobs inside inside your body. Is they can take over your nervous system. Yeah. Your body functions, your ability to function, to sleep. They can cause backache, neck ache, bum ache, ankle ache, all sorts of problems. Ringing in the ears, that's when they cook the brain, because you can clean jewelry by sound and frequencies, and you can cook someone's brain inside their head by pointing a little light, just like a microwave. So I encourage you all to look at God FM News on YouTube and watch my interview, which is a absolute, complete lifting the lid on everything that the leaders are doing, that I conducted with Mr. Gary Waterman, ex-police officer of the UK. And he has irrefutable proof of everything I'm telling you about today, including and not limited to many other things, including the trafficking of people, taking people's organs while they're in hospital, when they are supposedly dead. They are waking up in the hospital while they're trying to take their organs. If you're not listening to me, I ask you to sit up and listen, okay? Yeah? Because there's people with body parts missing as well in the mortuaries, and people who are getting ashes, and they're finding out a cigarette ash. What are they doing to the people's bodies when they die? Are they going to put it back into the food chain? Where are the cows and the sheep in the field? I want you to ask some questions, because then you might get some answers. Okay? I'm here to tell the truth, to spread the news of Jesus, the good news. But most importantly, if I have a relationship with Jesus, that's wonderful. But if I see what's happening in the world and I turn a blind eye and I don't try and help my fellow brother or sister or fellow neighbor, or try and tell others that this is what's happening and it could be coming for you, and it will be coming for you, then Jesus will probably give me a good smack on the bum. Because I need to be here telling the truth no matter what the cost. So help me God. And I'm here with the truth of what's really going on in the world. All right? History's a lie. People have been swapping babies as well. Yeah, when children are born, they swap babies around. Did you know that? Yes, they do. And there's so much to it. Honestly, just watch the interview and have a little flavor of what's going on with our leaders. Okay? I want you to be cross. And I want you to say, no, I've had enough and I don't want that. Because I've reached a point where I've decided that I actually cannot see a future in the current world as it is, unless it's taken down. Because I don't want my mind read. I don't want to have nano pumped into my water. I don't want somebody taking a scan of my brain with a brain interface that's been installed on my phone, which I personally have had, all right? So I know it's real, all right, because I know how to read back-end code of Apple phones. I personally don't want to be locked in a 15-minute city. I don't want to be told that I can't choose what career I want. Like in China, if you are opposing the system, you cannot choose your career. They tell you what you can do. You can be a bin man, but you can never be a, anything other than the bin man, Or you could be a mechanic if you want, but you can't be a pilot. Sorry about that. No, that's too high ranking. I was going to say doctor, but I don't really think I have much in the way of respect for what doctors are doing right now, okay? And the hospitals, okay? Because they were all dancing around while you were all locked up in your houses. Dancing, dancing, dancing. We're dancing, and we're going to lock people in the hospital, and no one can visit them, but we're all going to dance around the hospital. Yay! Nobody's allowed to leave their house. You all stay inside while all the nurses and the doctors dance around the hospital. And when the people go in the hospital, they don't come out. Not alive anyway. Everybody has to sign a little piece of paper that they won't resuscitate the patients over 40 years old because they really want to kill you and take your organs. You can't use the organs, by the way, unless you take them from a living person. All right, good. So, yeah, I just want to share that with you. I was only just briefly going to share that, but anyway, got Gary Waterman's blog, which I've just done, is garywaterman.blogspot.com. And then you'll probably have to click on it and go down the left-hand side drop-down menu to find it, because it's quite hard to get anything online with people interfering with everything. But I still know how to do things that come top of Google. Isn't that nice, hey? I had a builder who ripped me off some years ago, and I did this to him because he wouldn't leave me alone. And now these people will refuse to leave me alone, so I'm doing the same with him. Okay? So yes, if you have anybody that you know that's under this attack, please put them in touch with God FM, and we will pray for them. A lot of witchcraft is involved. They're sacrificing babies in the foyer to get the little demons to run around and terrorize you, to catch your prayers, to take your prayers away. Doing magic mirrors. And this is real witchcraft they're doing, all right? The Masonic lodges and all the rest of it, yes? All the men are members. All the police are members. If you want to run a business, you have to be a member. I had someone contact me today about someone who'd been in touch with them, asking them if they'd like to become a member of the Illuminati. Their lives will be easier. They'll be able to get jobs easier. They'll get better money. Easier to get a mortgage. You'll have lots of contacts. This is where we're going. It's like a little clique. It's like a little group. And Christians are not part of that group. So if you're listening to me and you believe in God, then please do as I say. Go and have a listen to that interview, and also go on TikTok and just check out gang stalking. Find out all about it, because it's coming for you. And then they'll put you in the mental hospitals. This is what they did with the reset last time. They took the children of the families. They sold them on the orphan trains. Then they sold the little babies in the incubator fairs and the world fairs as well. All right, and the adults were killed and put into mental hospitals of the founded buildings, which they found, which they didn't build because they were driving around on horses and cart, and there's no way they could have built these amazing buildings. And they put all the people in there. They also culled a lot of God's people, pretending that they were witches, because they had superpowers from the lords. So they had witch hunts. Just like they accused Jesus of serving the devil, they accuse any of God's children of being possessed by demons, or that you're crazy and you go in a mental hospital. How long before that comes for us if we don't stand up? I'm talking to everybody. Doesn't matter if you're not a broadcaster and you're not out there telling the truth. With this new digital ID, everything will be tracked. And you become an enemy. Because they don't like God. And all the churches are following the beast. And all the media are following the beast. All the world leaders are following the beast. Schools are following the beast. And there seems to be only a few people that are not following the beast. So if you're not following the beast, could you please check out what I'm saying? I'm not a lawyer. And I want you to be aware of it. A lot of people are victims of it and not aware of it. If your phone's behaving funny, your SIM card doesn't work, your phone calls keep dropping, you keep getting a on your phone, then it's quite likely you've been hacked. Your phone number's been taken over. If you hear a funny noise down the road, like a drilling, sort of drilling right by your house, and there are always vans and they're digging and drilling and doing plumbing, it's quite possible something's going on where you live. If you got backache, neckache, pain not associated with an injury, sniffles, coughs, all these things, it's all part of this stuff. It really is. Believe it. Disease and illness is all about the devil, because the devil's dead lived backwards. So we don't get ill because we got Christ. And we can heal supernaturally. If we do get ill, it's only because of all the stuff they've done. Because they've taken all the ions out of the food. All the nutrients out of the fruit. Fruits have their own magnetic structure. If they keep getting sprayed and traumatized, then when you eat it, you're eating a traumatized, destructured, magnetic piece of fruit, which then you consume, and also your body then receives that confusion magnetically. Because we're magnetic beings, we're built in such a way. Our bodies are incredible. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. It's Aisha from God FM. Have a wonderful day and take care.